Well, I'm back again at the family lodge, Greenbrier Lake. We just mowed yesterday. Grass looks really good. And I'm here to start working on the deck. Go ahead and try to start accomplishing what I wanted to. I want to get in the entire framing joist on this side so that I can, we got room for the framing lumber. And if I get to it, I'll take those front two boards off. And also, I'd like to get this torn off, this side torn off, so I can do the same thing. That way I can get the picture frame in, and then all we'll need to do is start adding deck boards. What I plan to do is first take off all the screws in these first two joists all the way back to this joist, or this board here. That gives me 12 feet back, which is the length of my 2x6 joist. And then what I plan on doing is just cutting all those boards just inside this second joist here and taking all those boards off, and that'll give me room to work. And if I get that far, I may try to do it to this side too, which means this needs to get out of here. Sooner or later I need to calculate what I need for these seats and steps. I'm hoping that I can use some of the scrap lumber, but I'm not too sure. So I'm going to turn you back off, start getting the tools together, then I'll come out here and start trying to remove as many of these screws as possible, and then cut the boards. I'll turn you back on when we get started. I'm able to turn the screws on a lot of them, but they're just spinning. Either rotted out or the wood is softened. This one's so quick, it's hard to adjust the speed. I'll change them at the wall. A little more control. out. I want to get the saw, cut it off now. Gotta get some more tools. 2 boards also. Minutes and I need a break. Well, I worked 40 minutes and now I got to take a break. I'll give an update here in a minute, but as you can see, the lake is just completely still. No breeze. It's 81 degrees and dew point is 70, which is anyone that knows dew point, if it gets 70 or above, it is miserable. But I do have the ceiling fans going, so I've got a little bit of a breeze, and I've taken a break to refill my water, which is a complete necessity today. It is miserable out there, and I'm not even working that hard, so I'll give you an update on where we're at just a little bit. Okay, I've cut all the deck boards back 22 inches on this side. I need to clean it off a little bit. I believe we're out of square quite a bit. Yep. What happened is I built this 2002, it's fairly square, but in 2007 we had a flood because the overflow wasn't working properly, and this pier, the water was up at least probably 17, 18 inches. And this pier pulled the front of the deck up, pulled those anchors up quite a bit. This one has settled back down a little off angle, and so that is what's causing it to be off a little bit. But what I got planned next, I need to cut more of those spacers, put spacers down through there, and then put a 2x6 joist so that I can frame the outside. Then I think I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. If it is really uncomfortable. But first thing I need to do is take the screws out over there. But first thing to do is I need to cut some spacers, and then I'm going to put the joist in here. I'll turn you back on when I get to working again. screws for those spacers. I'll move the end spacer as far down as I can. There's a framing square down there, support square, and I'll put it just short of that. Cut one more thick board out so that it extends past where the joint will be for the framing joist, and that way I'll put an extra long spacer piece so that this will sit against half of it and the next piece will sit against the other half. I need to cut some spacers. Okay, I've cut a pile of spacers, and I figure I'm going to put them 2 foot on center, this being the first 2 feet. So I'm going to move this to center it on here, and then every 2 feet I'll center another spacer until I get to 12 feet, and then I'll put one of the big spacer that's probably 15-16 inches wide. And that way it'll span the ends of both joists. So set you here, and you can watch me take this off, then put it back on. These don't have to be perfectly flush, but I'd like to get them close. There we go. And now put the rest of them in every 2 feet. screws. So we're going to go ahead and mount the joist board. Go on down through the length and try to level it out as much as I can. Board, I don't think this is a good board. I don't think it's that important. We'll start that in and work our way down here now. And then we'll take a break. Break. Okay, a little update. I got the joist board in. So now what I want to measure is I want a little overlap on the outside, but also the deck boards will come up to here. So I want to make sure that that will work like that. That'll give me, I don't know, looks like 3/8 of an inch for the screw to go in for these clips. What I want to see is how far over that is. I was planning on those are 1.5-inch boards, so if I could get an inch out of them. And I've actually, I could move it over even more. All I need is enough, and a 1/4 inch I think is enough to where we can angle a screw in to make it tight. You got plenty of board there to screw down, and then every once in a while you'll want to screw down the outside. So what I think I'm going to do, I'll set you here. I'm going to actually measure 1/2 inch over. That gives me 1 inch. I'm going to carry that down through the whole length. There we go. And we put the board right there, which gives me that's good. Gives me 13/16 of an overhang. I was aiming for about 1 inch, but 13/16 is good. I think that's going to work like that. Let me carry this mark through down here. See if I can climb over here without getting wet. Let's just move this board for a moment. Let's just measure, make sure this is. We got 4 3/8. Got 4 1/2. Four and a half. Go ahead and put the board back on there. See if we can get a straight line. That looks pretty good. That will be the picture frame, and then these clip-in boards will go here. And just looking to see, well, there was a clip. There it is. And they allow us to clip. Oh yeah, they give us plenty of room to clip. I think that's a plan. I'm going to carry my line on up into the shade. Then what I think I'm going to do is start taking screws out on that side. I'm going to put a board up against there. I'm not sure that will be square to the side. So I think what I need to do is go ahead and square up the front, and then we'll adjust this board to be square to it, and we'll vary the overhang will probably vary from the front to the rear depending on how unsquare the frame is now. But that'll give me boards, deck boards, that sit right up against the board. And if it's off, it's off, and you'll never see it, and it'll square things up. It's just that I don't think the frame is quite square. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and take screws out of that front board and take the screws out under here and prepare to do the framing on that side. I don't know if I'll do it today, but at least get these screws out and maybe even cut it. about 3 o'clock and we're having geese wars at the feed stations. But I have taken and cut back all of the first 12 feet of decking on this side. I think I'm going to go ahead now and cut up. Let's see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need one more short one and then a long one. Then I think I'll go ahead and put the spacers on this side. And then what I need to do is measure some dimensions for the front compared to the sides. I don't think we're square all the time, so I need to come up with a plan on how I'm going to square up the front and then try to keep a uniform width coming back. So I need to take some measurements once I get the spacers in there. Now I need to cut some spacers. A couple. I need to move some of the new boards out of the way so I can work in there. cut the spacers, and I've got a joist up there connected on that side. Now I'm going to connect it on this side temporarily. See back here, we've got the bolts from the legs of the seating that are sticking out. So what I'm going to do is bring this up to the right height, clamp it down, and then take a hammer and beat on the outside so I can mark the board, and then I'll drill them out oversized so that the board will just fit right over the bolt. And that's how we'll take care of that. That's fairly tight. Now I'll take my hammer, where we've got these bolts. I'm really not sure that's hitting them. I guess there's one down there that's hitting that one. I almost need to get a clamp and clamp this one because it is so far away. Well, let's take the clamp off the end and put it here. Yeah, it's touching. Take these off. Take the one off the end, and we'll see if I got the marks. Oh. Whoop. Well, that's the first thing I've dropped completely into the water. Got a mark there, got a small mark there, and got a mark up there. I'll take the pencil and mark where it's at. Hey, we know, Janet. I'm going to take a spade bit where I've marked and try to drill it out enough to where they'll go over the bolts. And I need to turn up the torque. think I need to go all the way through. We'll see. Thought I had this on infinity, but I don't. There we go. See if I can break my wrist in the last spot. Okay. Now I'll lift it up, see what it looks like. I think that will work. I'm going to go ahead and fasten the board at the end with one screw, and then I'll go down and see whether or not they'll come in. Right there's where the first one is. So I'm going to see if I can close up the gap with my clamp. Oh, closed right up. I'll go ahead and put in a screw there. The other two in between look fairly level. Oop. Yep, you don't want to lean on that board. Now I'll go down and do the same thing down here where these other two bolts were. still got a gap here, and I'm not sure whether it's due to the bolt or the board is warped a little bit. I want to turn you off while I investigate. Now I put my vise on either side of this one that had the biggest gap. Got it to where there was almost no gap, and then screwed it and got rid of the gap completely. Oh, so now I'm just going to go back, put fasteners in everything, and then I need to take some measurements and I'll be done for the day. Well, it's almost 5 and that's a wrap for the day. Let there be no light. And there's no light. Goodbye, Mom and Dad. The pavilion's all locked up, fans are off, and that door's locked. I got this door locked. Just need to pull it closed. A lot bigger pile, trash. Go out here and take a look. I've got the extra joist on either side now, ready for the frame board on either side. Then I took some measurements because I don't think it's square, so I'm going to want to square up the very end and then square up the sides so that it's a constant width from front to back. That way we don't have to cut every board custom. But yeah, that joist is in there, that joist is in there. It's not, goes about 3/8 of an inch difference between the front and the middle here. And I did not measure the back, meant to, but it's okay. It's been hot, humid. There'd be a breeze every once in a while, but I'm tired. And it's supposed to be in the 90s first of next week, so I won't be back until this temperature improves a little bit. So until then, everyone take care of yourself. Stay safe.